Hi, it's Sue here, and welcome to another edition of Inspired Messages. And this time it's October, and I can't believe how quickly it's going. The months and the weeks just absolutely fly. Um, I've got a stiff neck, so I'm a bit. I've got a scarf around my neck. I've had a massage this morning. My goodness knows, I think it's the tension. I think I'm holding tension in my shoulders, which is affecting my neck. I think with everything that's going on, I think maybe we're all feeling that pressure. There seems to be a lot of pressure. This is known as Red October. If you think about the film, I think a lot is going on in the background. Um, if you know where to look, and obviously I'm actually getting an amazing amount of information minute by minute, and things are moving very fast. And I think we may well see more revelations in the month of October. I think it's going to be very fast paced. So it's about really trying to be focused and in balance. And obviously, we are in the month of Libra, which is all about balance and harmony and justice and the scales of justice. So it's kind of very relevant to the month and what's actually going on. So I just want to say before I start what's going on in astrologically is that I may not be able to do the newsletter for the month of November because I'm going to be away. And I'm hoping I might be able to do a video, but don't count on it. I want to do a video. I want to keep you up to speed. At the very least, I will try and do a video, which obviously will be on my YouTube channel. If you don't know how to get to my YouTube channel, if you go to my website, which is astrologysue.com, you will see the link to my YouTube channel on there. And you just click on that, it will take you to my latest video. Okay. That also links you to the Facebook page, which is Astrology Sue Fletcher. And I'm not sure at this point whether I'm going to take my laptop with me, and I can't do anything without that. So, and I'm going abroad. So, yeah, it might be difficult. So, don't think that I've gone. As Arnold Schwarzenegger says, I will be back. So, that being said, the first, which is today, I'm filming it on the first, and I want to get it out onto YouTube so that it's current. We have Venus opposite Jupiter. So, Venus is about relationships. It's also about money and finance. So, it's opposite Jupiter, and Jupiter always enlarges everything. So we might see more on things on the world stage about money and finances, and we're already having a lot of things going on the media, on the mainstream media, but you can't always believe what they're pushing out. But you can be sure there is stuff going on about finances, and so this really means that with this opposition, because Jupiter does expand things, that we could overspend personally. Obviously, in the world sense, everybody seems to be doing quantitative easing and goodness knows what, and so this transit is very indicative of that. But personally speaking, you should also try and not overspend. And actually, Venus rules sugar, so you shouldn't overeat either, particularly sweet things, which we sometimes want to do. If we want to comfort eat. So watch that. Obviously, it's only really for today and tomorrow. This is so that's fine. It's not going to go on and on. So on the 2nd, which is tomorrow, Mercury, which has been retrograde, is going to station and go direct. And because it's retrograded out of Libra and into Virgo, it is still in the sign of Virgo. So that's its own sign. It's happy. Mercury rules Virgo, also rules Gemini, rules two signs. So anything Virgoan is well starred. So, it's about helping people in the community, or your nearest and dearest. It can also be to do with your health, making sure that your health is okay and you're all right emotionally as well. What else? So yeah, helping in the community, and actually that actually could move us forward. So until Mercury moves back into Libra, which I think is about the 11th. I think it's the 11th of October. So we've got 11 days with Mercury in its own sign. And that's no accident, when they move back into a sign that they've been in, it's going backwards to finish off things that were maybe started and not finished. So if there's anything that you need to finish that you was started a couple of weeks ago, then please, go and finish it. So on the 9th, we're going to have the full moon in the sign of Aries. So Aries is the first sign. It's the sign of the warrior. And so there's going to be a lot of warrior type energy. And we can see, can't we, that we've got a lot of upheaval completely all around the world. I mean, we've got um, uh, the pipeline that's just gone up, and we've got the war in Ukraine, protests in Iran. Well, I mean, that's just to name just a few, there's a lot of kind of uprising, warrior kind of energy going on around the world. And actually, the card that came up was the Strength card. And it's interesting that it came up in the gift position and also the like the healing position. So I think it's important. I think we've been given the gift of strength. It's about strength, it's about resilience, it's about having courage, the courage of our convictions, the courage to stand in our own truth, the courage to do what we know is right. And, truth is about doing what is right. We all know what is true and what is not true. So, on a personal level, that can help you, but also on a global level, this card is about resilience and courage and standing firm for what, we feel is right and just. And as I said, it's in the gift position, so it's been given to us as a gift. So we need to stay calm really at this full moon, and the full moon always has the sun and moon opposite. So opposite we have the sun in Libra, so that's the opposite energy to Aries, which is go go go, fire fire fire, just like the warrior, this warrior energy, whereas Libra is balance and it's harmony, and it's truth and it's justice and it's balance, it's love as well. And the card that came up was actually the Lovers, which is very much connected to Libra. um, Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, and Venus is connected to love and the heart energy. So this is really, I feel, about using our heart energy. It's about being kind. It's about looking after those that are close to you that are in need again. Sharing your love, sharing your kindness with those people that actually need it, and that's we need to, that's so important, and we need to make sure that we try and do that. And the other card that came up, you were not going to be surprised, it's the Justice card. And this came up in the mission position. So this is our mission for the next month. Well, for the next month, because this reading is for the month. And so this card is the Libra card. It's a part of this full moon. It is about justice. It is about balance, isn't it? And it's about making sure, again, that we stand in our own truth somehow. And so I feel, this is very kind of apt for us at this time. So peace, love, and harmony, justice, and the ruler, as I said, is Venus, and it rules the sun, and it rules Libra, and it adds more energy to court cases, really, and it also adds more to justice, the justice for that we're all searching. Now that full moon is opposite Chiron, which is the planet of healing, which is conjunct that moon, that full moon, and so really that the Chiron next to the moon is about wounds. It's also about healing. It's also about sickness, and there are many people that are sick and need healing, and that's on a physical level, but it's also on an emotional and mental and spiritual level. And so that is, that Chiron conjunct the moon is quite telling. Um, to be included in this full moon. And then on top of that, we've got Mercury in the Virgo, which is trining Pluto. Now this is a trine, so it's not a difficult energy. Okay, it's a nice energy, and Pluto is about transformation, and so I think it's really about researching and digging deep to find the truth, but it's also about once we know the truth, it's about us taking that truth and transforming ourselves. And we all have to do that on an individual level. So as we become more aware of what's happened, which is Mercury, which is information, trining this Pluto of revelation, shall we say, and the truth, then we will then transform in some way on some deep level, because that's what Pluto's about. It's about being, going to the depths. So we also have in this full moon, we've got Jupiter opposite Mercury as well. So this could be important as Jupiter enlarges anything it touches. So is that going to enlarge this information to get it out? Because Jupiter rules the world, other cultures. I mean, I'd like to think that that's what it's going to do. That it's going to be apparent that many, many more people are aware of what's been happening in the world. But let's see, because we've also got Mercury opposite Neptune, and Neptune can deceive you. So, what do you believe? Who do you believe? Because everything may not be as it seems. So, I think also with Neptune, it's about intuition. So, I think we have to listen to our discernment. We have to think, does that feel right to me? Because right at this moment in time, we are not sure what's going on. I think that's deliberate, but I think it's important to keep centered, and listen to the gut, listen to your intuition. Okay, so on the 17th, we're going to have the Sun trining Mars. So Mars is energy. We've talked about this before. And so this is good because it's good for negotiating, really. including talks and action, because Mars is about action. And I think whatever is talked about, because it's a trine, can be mutually good for everybody concerned. So that's on the 19th. And then also on the 19th, we've got the Sun squaring Pluto. So this is a really hard energy. It's much more tricky, as the pressure mounts really and insists on some. It's a bit like a pressure cooker, and it insists on some kind of release. So this is power and control at its strongest. And the card that came up, you're not going to be surprised, is this card. I'm not going to say it out loud, but this is about power and control. And I think it is about us taking our power and control back. We have to take our power and control back. We uh, arrived on this planet um, when we were born, and everything in it is free whilst we're here. The earth is free, but we have to respect it and look after it. And the air we breathe is free. It's and yet we're being charged on every front for all types of things that we shouldn't be. And that's what really this is representing. But this is all going to go, and it's all going to change. So it is all right, but this is a square, and so it is going to have an effect, because squares are always a challenge, and we seem to have had a lot of those. But this card really fits right in to the situation. So on the 25th of October, we're going to have our first eclipse. So we're going into eclipse season, and eclipses are always about change, endings, endings of cycles, etc. And Venus is going to square Pluto, and Venus rules money, as I've talked about before, and our value system and relationships. And you must know by now that Pluto is about power and control, connected to money. Okay, so we are going to see big changes in our money system, but we have to be positive, because we're meant to be here now, and we're meant to be going through this roller coaster. It's like a roller coaster ride, which is probably why my shoulders, I feel like I've got the quite weight of the world on my shoulders. So it's not easy for any of us. We're all going through it. So all of us will be affected. We can't go through what's happening and not be affected, because we are emotional beings. And when the emotions kick in, that's when that affects our physical body. So, as I say, eclipses are about change, endings, and new beginnings. Um, Also, in this new moon eclipse, we've got Mercury trining Saturn and Mars. So, this is a trine. So, this is good for making plans and then actioning them with that Mars energy. So, talking about them, making them with the Mercury. And Saturn is about structure and making the plans, and then Mars is going to action them. So that's really, really positive. And the influence of this solar uh, eclipse will be felt for up to 1 year. So it's not just on the day. Um, it marks the beginning, really, of the end in what has affected our well-being on an emotional level. So the card that came up last is the Wheel of Fortune, and I know this has come up before in the readings, and this card, obviously, life does go in cycles, and when we look back astrologically to some of the major transits that are happening now through history, we see that there were big things happening, big changes, in the way that the people lived. And so this is exactly what's happening right now. So we've got this Wheel of Fortune. It came up. It's about the cycles of life. Life goes in cycles, and we're coming to the end of one, aren't we? Because we're going from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And when it's a time of transition, I've probably said this before, it's always difficult because the old does not want to go. And it's like the new world is giving birth and it's having labor pains. And so it's not an easy passage that we're having to go through. And I've talked about this before. There are lots of new groups forming, looking at all the structures that we use in our life. So energy. I'm talking about heating and energy in that respect, and healing, and food, and farming, and community. Everybody's doing something in their community, and I've talked about the People's Health Alliance, which now have over 125 hubs in this country and is now gone worldwide. And they've just launched the People's Food and Farming, and that's just been launched. And so you could see that we are taking our responsibilities seriously, and we are taking our power back, which is what all these transits are about and what this card is about, because this is a cycle. This is a card, a Wheel of Fortune, where around and comes back to where it was, and we have a new start, we have a new beginning. So we are being asked to transform. I feel this card is about evolution, moving on, and evolution is the key, and we're all part of it. Well, we're being asked to transform on a deep level. Anything out of control can be worked on. uh, we are being asked, I believe, to leave the past behind so that we can welcome a new era in. And I know through talking to people, even this week, I could see, they've been in a particular environment, shall we say, all of their life. And it's very difficult for them to break the mold because they keep going back to what they know. And we have to leave that behind. We have to move into the future, as this card says, the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So the affirmation for this month is hand on heart every morning. I stand at the doorway to a new, beautiful, peaceful, abundant world. I stand at the doorway to a new, beautiful, peaceful, abundant world. So say that, because that's what we need to do. We need to vision, we need to envision, we need to visualize, we need to bring that new world in, we need to see what we want, and we need to ask the universe for it. And if we all did it, and then we all started working together towards it, it will happen. It is happening. It is happening. So that being said, have a great October. Don't get too bogged down. Stay in balance, stay in harmony, surround yourself with people that you love and you care for. And I might not be back for November. I'm going to see if I can do a video at least on the planetary alignments. But let's see. But in the meantime, have a great time. And if you need me, just contact me through my website, astrologysue.com. So have a great October, and bye for now. Bye bye.